Atheism. Atheists believe there is no God. All right? They're not unsure about it. They're not open-minded about it. They have a firm belief that there is no God. Some basic arguments for theism, believing in God, are rooted in cause and effect. So the universe has a beginning. There must have been an uncaused cause to begin that, and that cause must be outside of space, time, and matter. There's also precise conditions that the universe has that allows it to make life and support life. So the point that these point to an underlying intelligence. If there's precise conditions needed for life, and those precise conditions are met and have been there since the foundation of the universe, and they could be different, and being different would not make life possible, we've got a very precise universe designed with a purpose to create life. There are dozens of quantities in physics showing that life is balanced on this razor's edge with statistically unfathomable precision. These include like the universe's rate of expansion, the strength of gravity, the conditions for star formation, and dozens more. There's a ton of these quantities. And this isn't something that's debated, all right? Atheists agree with this precision. Even guys like Dr. Hawking have agreed that, there could be a lot of different factors that create like the laws of physics, and they wouldn't be something that would create life. So here's how strong this principle of fine-tuning is. This is the fine-tuning principle. The universe is fine-tuned for life. Here's how strong that principle is, okay? Some atheists will claim that we live in a simulation, something like an alien computer or something like that, or a futuristic computer or something like that, because they look at all these properties and the laws of physics and they go, yeah, it's just impossible for this to have happened by chance, which is exactly what we claim. It's impossible that this happened by chance. So Neil deGrasse Tyson, that famous astronomer, you all know his name, he says it's about a 50-50 possibility that we live in a simulation. All right? So that puts a face to the theory, okay? And some guys firmly believe this, and a lot of them are like, oh yeah, it's possible, but but this is something that's spread around the atheist community. So what they're doing is they're acknowledging that we're fine-tuned for life, and that there has to be a personal entity to have decided that. But they're just saying it's not God, it's some alien computer or some futuristic video game or something like that. And it's all they're doing is putting off the problem, though, because who made them? If they're fine-tuned for life, who made that alien race? And all they're doing is putting off the problem. They're just pushing God away, but not actually solving the issue, not actually getting to the root of it. They're just ignoring it, is what it is. Another popular belief is that the universe originated from nothing, literally nothing. The issue is they're just agreeing with the Bible here. That's it. If you believe that nothing created everything, we believe that everything came from nothing too, but we believe there was a cause for that and that it didn't just pop out of nowhere. And, the scientific evidence for that belief is it's nothing. There's no evidence for it. Yeah, it sure does. It sure does, really. And it's a massive leap, the most they get is a vacuum can produce some little particles that are so unstable they disappear very, very quickly. But before the universe was created, was there even a vacuum? What are those pre-universal conditions? You have no idea. There's no way to test it. It's an untestable, unknowable, unprovable theory. And as you said, yeah, it takes a lot of faith to believe something like that. 3 more points for an intelligent designer. Coding like DNA. Coding has a coder, someone who made the code. Irreducible complexity in cells. There's no answer for these sorts of things. And also that observation tells us that that intelligent, complex things come from an intelligent designer. So therefore, the universe must come from a timeless, immaterial, powerful, and intelligent and personal being. He is the uncaused cause of the universe who decided to create without any prior determining conditions. He made the universe with purpose and is finely tuned to promote life. And he made us with a wonder and fascination for who he is. And there are other reasons to believe too, like objective morality and ultimate justice in the universe. So for these closed-minded individuals, a lot of times just, you can go over that stuff if they're interested in it, if they haven't heard those arguments, but a lot of them have, or some of them have at least. For those who have heard it before, just sticking to your testimony, sticking to the grace of God and the love of God through Christ and sharing that basic gospel, doing our role and responsibility as Christians to share the faith. And also listening for why they reject God. The big question is, why do they reject God? And it's not always logical reasons, and a lot of times it's not. A lot of times it's personal reasons, it's personal hurts. A lot of times you see Christians, they get hurt by something in the world, they get hurt by a parent or a church, and then all of a sudden they convert to atheism. Well, it's like, what you're doing is you're following your emotions. You're not following reason, you're not following truth, you're not following goodness, you're not following morality, you're following your hurt, so you rebel. That's really what it comes down to. And I think in a lot of cases, there's a lot of that. So these people are often hurt people. Sometimes they really just have logical arguments, but a lot of times I think they are just hurt people. When we emphasize heaven, some people will give pushback about hell. And you see this a lot with atheists. Some of their arguments are hell seems immoral and wrong. But hell is just a respect of free will. If you want to live like hell, if you want to live without God, you just continue without God. If you want to live with God, you continue with God. It's pretty straightforward. And the thing is, when you die, you're not going to look around and say, wow, those people in hell got ripped off. And the people in hell, they're not going to say, wow, I got ripped off. Nobody's going to get ripped off. Everyone is just going to say, this is justice, and this is right. Even those people in hell. And the thing is, though, you can get better than what you deserve just by a relationship with God, because being with Him is the best. It comes down to that, right? You can get better than what you deserve. That, you want what you deserve or you want better. That's it. The hellfire itself, it's not like, I don't think everyone's just going to burn and be in torment forever in hell. Those words are symbolic. When you follow the terminology into the Old Testament, a lot of it is like, the idea of the fire and destruction is, in the Old Testament, a lot of that's just the destruction of nations, So these words are symbolic from their very Jewish roots and Old Testament roots. So it doesn't necessarily mean hell has to be absolutely, definitely this just a fire that you're burning in forever. I think that there's probably symbolism there, and if you trace it to the roots of the Scripture, there's symbolism at the roots of the Scripture. Jesus says, you can be destroyed in that place. He says you go to destruction, so maybe there's destruction in that place, or maybe not. But, also in Revelation, these people are outside the gates of New Jerusalem. These sinners who are in hell are outside the gates of New Jerusalem. So you're not in the gates with God in His presence and in His light. You're outside of that place. So whatever it is, though, we will all agree that God is just and fair. And nobody gets ripped off in the afterlife. You can't object and say hell is immoral. It is perfect morality. It is perfect justice. Nobody's going to say otherwise when they get there.